First of all, I'd like to go off by saying, I believe a gap year would be very beneficial because a lot of college students, when they first come in, they think they know what they want to do. And I mean, that's a big decision to make. Most of y'all, when you came into college, you were what, 18, 19 years old? That's a real big decision, deciding what you want to do for the rest of your life. So, I mean, that leads people to come in and possibly change majors, change what they think they want to do. I believe a gap year would be a really good thing. You'd get the chance to get out and do some community service, and while you're taking that gap year, you may get to travel, maybe meet new people. Personally, I've met one of my best friends while doing some community service. We were actually remodeling a home for an older gentleman, and we've been lifelong friends since then, and I believe we met probably about my freshman year of high school. But we've kept in touch ever since, and he's actually in Argentina now doing mission work. And, I did this my freshman year, but to say you were to take a whole year off and get to experience some of these opportunities, I mean, there's no telling what you would do and who you would meet.
First off, if you want new people, meet new people, you can come to college, do that, do mission trips, whatever you want. Students should not be required to do community service because that teaches false integrity. Like, they're not going to have the self-fulfillment that they should have if they're being forced to do it. And also, if that was true, I know almost half of us would not be here. And I'm about to have 1 year of college done. And if that was the case, like I said, I wouldn't be here. And plus, people also, they have things and responsibilities to do that community service would get in the way.
Okay, let's think about why people go to university. I think a single word, higher level education. Then what do we need to grasp the valuable education, like meaningful learning? Money for tuition could be, but most importantly, I think learning appetite. This system gap year allows a student to postpone their enrollment to university for a half year to 1 year. During this time, the student can immerse themselves to do volunteer work, go to internship jobs, and study abroad. So they can have opportunity to have like real life experience and something very new and exciting that student never learn from in high school class or like in this classroom or in the classroom. The University of Sydney in Australia has shown that students who experience the gap year program perform well at the universities than students who enter university soon after graduating high school. So we believe that this real-life experience improves student autonomy and motivation, which will be strongly connected with learning appetite in college and success in the future.
Alright, well mainly you guys are, and one sort of problem is the fact that you guys are just telling us how good volunteer work is and that it is good and that people should do it. And what we're debating here is whether it should be required and that they should be forced to do it, and not whether or not volunteer work is a good thing to do. And so we see, like, if you're forced to do something, in your brain that automatically that thing becomes a negative thing that you don't want to have to do. And so we are automatically, as soon as we're telling these students that they have to do volunteer work, we are planting in their minds that volunteer work is a bad thing, and they're not going to want to do it afterwards on their own. So we're teaching them false integrity. It is a good thing that volunteer work is, but it is better if it's done from the heart and if students are doing it because they feel they need to do it, not because the law is telling them they have to do it before they move on in their lives.
It is my turn, correct?
Yes. Wait, no, you were the supporting member, right?
Yeah.
No, it's Nathan's, and then you get finals.
Okay.
Like my partner was saying, if you don't want to do it, and it's gonna just be harder on you. Let's say you do want to do it, and you end up going to do community service with a person who doesn't want to do it. That creates a negative attitude, and that's just, you're not gonna be around that workplace. A lot of people, they just want to focus on the academics. I know for me personally, I wouldn't want to do it. If I was going to do community service, I'd want to go with my church or something. I wouldn't want to do a whole year of it. Teenagers shouldn't have to go pick up trash or do something like that to move on to taking the next step toward their career job. Doing community work almost has nothing to do with your education. Why shouldn't a straight A student that's worked hard in high school have to be stopped of education to do a year of this? Why dangle with somebody's future career? That puts them a year behind. Community work shouldn't stay in your way of acceptance to college.
There was a survey done by the Gap Year Advantage, and they surveyed 280 Gap Year alumni from November 2007 through November 2008. And they asked how the experience changed their lives, and 60% of them said that the Gap Year affected their majors and careers by either affirming a direction that they were already heading towards or completely changing it and just doing something different. Like I said before, Gap Year to me would be very beneficial. I wish I had the opportunity to do this. I personally was involved in a club at my high school, which required us to do so much community service a year, and I had no problem doing it. I actually enjoy doing community service. I like helping people and just making their lives a little better. And it seemed to me that no one around me had a problem with doing that as well. If your heart's in the right place, it shouldn't matter if you have to do it or not. Thank you.